So I used to be a circuit rider. Let's see, where are we here? Oh, that last one, that refrigerator belonged to Linda's sister.
Oh,
And she was up there visiting Nancy, her sister Nancy. And so there were some wine references on there, of course. This one is mine from inside my trailer. And I would just tell you there's, of course, the pictures. These are stickers that I put on when I go on my camping and kayaking trips that I put on the bags so I know what's in each. My landlord and family, landlady and family, and of course a few motorcycles there, some dreams up there. So I used to be a circuit rider. Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Valdosta, a little Mosaic fellowship in DeLand, Florida. I preached on a regular basis in all of these locations and others, including a year when I would preach here at 11 in the morning, drive to DeLand for a 2 o'clock in the afternoon service and preach at Mosaic at that little starter church. I was asked by one of the churches, Mosaic in fact, one Sunday to preach on the topic Peace in the Home as part of a 3-week series that they were following. This was not peace in the family. That was week 2. It was specifically peace in the home. I found that a challenging assignment. I thought about what my home means to me. Home is my refuge from work and other responsibilities. My backyard is my playground and my hideaway. You saw the hammock there. Home is my garden, both literally and metaphorically. I can feed my soul and body there. Home is where I go for safety and to let my hair down. I can be myself or find myself or maybe even lose myself at home. Yes, maybe all 3. So this is my refrigerator in my home. It's important, I think, to realize at this time how much we might take refrigerators for granted. And to remember that we have friends among us who do not have refrigerators because they do not have homes. I can appreciate that struggle. My trailer fridge went out, that very one right there, a year or so ago. And even though I have a second unit in a storage shed outside, it's not the same thing. It's not quite convenient for creating dinners or meals. Without much thought to the relationship, we conspire with our ice boxes to keep our food in trust. We store leftover memories there, inside and out. We expect them to keep quiet and do their job. But as I was pacing through my home one evening, looking for inspiration and working on this sermon, my refrigerator spoke to me. It wasn't as dramatic as the Andersons' Alpine appliance, but it was just as powerful and meaningful. I heard it proclaim Unitarian Universalist principles in a language for children. Very simple, yet profound. It's a blessing each of us was born, the message went. It matters what we do with our lives. What each of us knows about God is a piece of the truth. And it said, we don't have to do it alone. This is what it said to me, and more. It encouraged me to, quote, join the Fair Trade Coffee Crusade. My refrigerator has a social conscience. 60 years for justice, hope, and promise, it declared. The Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. Words from Frank Lloyd Wright are on my fridge, a famous Unitarian. The truth is more important than the facts. My refrigerator has a sense of humor too. It said, the cure for anything is salt water, sweat, tears, or the sea. Here it is right here. There were fun things, sailboats and sandals. And there's a Haitian sailboat there. This is one of my favorites. Can you read it? Your attitude is the only difference between an ordeal and an adventure. One of my favorites. Thomas Jefferson was there. It is in our lives and not from our words that our religion must be read. And finally, echoing the words of Lao Tzu, and I have both of these here too. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. All of this and more my refrigerator revealed to me. But it isn't really that amazing. In fact, it's understandable when you have a 5-foot-tall bulletin board in the center of your home. Something I walk past 3 or 4 dozen times a day had suddenly captured me in that unguarded moment. My fridge is preaching a sermon, I realized. It is announcing this is what's important in your life. Pets and family photos, safety and travel information, sports and entertainment, food and humor, and deeply held religious principles. If there is to be peace in the home, there must be peace in the heart. It was then that I remembered that religious education exercise from one of our UU classes that I had taken long ago. This is what I invited you to try out this week. Your homework assignment for those of you who get and read the emails. And this was my assignment. If you didn't do it, don't worry, you can do it right now. Go into the room at home in which you or your family spend most of your time. Whether it's the kitchen or the den, bedroom, study, wherever it is, take a pad and write down everything in the room related to religion, spirituality, or faith. Whatever the word that you would use to define the sacred depth of life. And then highlight those items on that list that specifically relate to Unitarian Universalism. So you've heard some of mine. I would love to hear some of yours. And Emma, I know you've got a list. Get us rolling.
All right.
And you can be thinking about your own.
In my office/den, I have so many reminders of my spiritual worth, but here's a few. I have a chalice. I have our UU hymnal, and there are many books on topics that I turn to often. I have a pencil holder cup that reads simply love. I have a picture of a turtle heading to the sea. My wall poster by Thich Nhat Hanh reads, the future is being made out of the present. So the best way to take care of the future is to take care of the present moment. My refrigerator, my favorite, it says, no matter the circumstances, all is well with my soul. And then I have another one on there that says, don't take anything personally. These all sound like UU to me. And my favorite, not my favorite, but okay, a comic, it says, no man was ever shot while doing the dishes.
Very spiritual, that. I know there are some others.
I'll go.
Yes, Rhea.
Okay, so I'm going to put this on the table
Awesome.
so everybody can feel it. But this is a sentimental value, prized possession, a gift from the sea.
Recording of the sea.
Recording of the sea. An old man gave this to my father in the 60s.
Oh.
And we used it for a practical reason, to open the bridges.
Wow.
And if you want to go try it, it's very good.
I've tried them before. I never knew how to do it. I see you got the hole there for it. Yes, please.
I like to try blowing it, but also have a little message. What was the question again, the homework?
To look for artifacts or things that represent in your life your idea of spirituality.
I'm actually wearing it. This is a tree agate that I got from Arizona.
Oh,
It's carried me through some really trying times. I made it into an amulet.
a little.
Maybe service across the street.
Yeah. They will open the bridge if we.
The
Other way. Yeah.
Like this?
Other way.
Other way.
Use those lips like a trumpet.
Blow like a trumpet.
Like a trumpet.
I fail.
Lessons after church today.
Yep. We'll get there.
He's not a trumpeter.
No, I'm not a trumpeter. I'm actually a clarinet player.
Ah.
Well, they have these in Key West every year. They have the conch blow contest. It's really difficult to play this.
Yeah.
It is.
Other folks want to share about your homes? Nothing? Nothing comes to mind?
Well, I have one. In my refrigerator, I have sourdough starter. That is an alive
Mm-hmm.
thing that I have to take care of. And I do forget about it sometimes, and I have to revive it. But it's been there for 6 or 7 years.
Nice.
I have a tile from my old church in Holland that's over 1,000 years old, and they put a new tile. What is that tile called? Slate. They put a new slate tile on it, and I got the old slate tile, the original, so over 1,000 years old. Within there is engraved the picture that they did later of the church itself. So I'll bring it next
Wow.
time.
Ah.
Where's it from?
This is in Holland.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in
Right.
Holland. The church is over. Still standing majestically, over 1,000 years old.
Wow.
You mentioned talking about the kitchen, and I thought about coffee mugs. I think a lot of people have coffee mug messages on them. Some of them given to us by other people that say something about us from somebody's point of view.
There's a lot of wine glasses.
Yeah.
Wine glass.
One of my favorite slogans is, do not believe everything you think.
Oh, yes. I read that one recently. So look at our list of sources cited in the UUA bylaws. This is what I was talking about earlier. We have the principles followed by the sources, where it says that our living tradition draws from all of these places. Direct experience, words and deeds. We draw from personal wonder and transcendence. Wisdom from the world religions, humanist teachings, earth-centered spirituality. We call these our living traditions. A friend of mine once referred to them as our spiritual salad bar. Take what you want. A taste here, a sample there. It reminded me of Groucho Marx talking about our principles when he said, "These are my principles. If you don't like them, I have others." These principles and sources of our faith are items on display in our religious living room, our church home, our fellowship of the fridge. In seminary, I completed a 2-semester course called Systematic Theology. Systematic theology is a set of organized compartments of religious study and belief. So vital topics on things such as God, human nature, sin, revelation, all of these intertwined components. They impact and define one another. Do I believe in free will or predestination? Is God everywhere? Is God all-knowing? Is God all-powerful? If so, how do I... Oh, that tells us something. Mention God in a union church. If God is omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent, and yes, how do I explain the presence of evil in the world? Like a jigsaw puzzle, every piece defines and interlocks with every other. How long do I go before I yank this off? It's going to drive me crazy.
I can hear you naturally.
Yeah.
But we're recording.
This can't.
We're trying to record it.
Let's change batteries in case
We're going to change the
batteries may be dying. We'll do that rather quick.
That's what it is.
Is this all going
It's just the batteries.
Yes.
Well, isn't that true for all of us?
It is for me.
There you go.
All right, let's see what happens.
All right. Like a jigsaw puzzle, every piece defines and interlocks with every other. Until before you know it, you have a great big package I call religion in a box. Cohesive, intellectual, certainly rational, and as uninspiring as a cold blank fridge. We just don't go for that as religious liberals. Life is not compartmentalized that way. In Unitarian Universalist minister circles, we talk instead about something called process theology. Process theology asserts that process, or the act of becoming, is the basic fabric of life. Reality is not made up of unchanging substances, as classical Western philosophy taught. Reality is made up of an interconnected series of events. For Alfred North Whitehead, the father of process theology, life is a, quote, web of relationships continually changing. The world is an ever-growing totality of experience, he said, like our household collection of icons, anecdotes, and artifacts. And the great significance of this for religion is that God, in Whitehead's system, is not an exception to the rule. God, too, is in the process of change. Yeah, wow. This idea, this understanding rocked the world of traditional religion, much along the same lines as Nietzsche proclaiming God is dead. And it shook the foundation of my own personal faith, setting me during that time in seminary on a 10-year journey that would lead eventually right here to Unitarian Universalism. No more God in a box. No more unchanging truth. Funny thing, this is actually closer to the biblical notion of God than modern Christian definitions. In the Bible, God can experience a change of heart. God gets angry. God plays favorites, engages in relationships, experiences life, grows in awareness and understanding. What has any of this to do with refrigerators or with peace in the home? Simply that it helps us understand why we as Unitarian Universalists may find difficulty identifying the fabric of our faith, because there is no final message. We embrace unguarded moments of inspiration, myriad sources of light and understanding. I suspect this will be evident in your own religious treasure hunt inside your home, and we've already heard some examples of this. Things are added, things are taken away, our views change and grow and expand. I like what Max Lucado said. If God had a refrigerator, your picture would be on it. Peace in the home implies to me a few things. First, it says there is a home, a place that we can call our own. We think of physical structures, of course, but home is just as much a sense of place and belonging as it is the deed to a building. Not everyone is blessed to have a home. Not everyone wants to have a home. But I can own a house and not belong there. Or I can rent a bedroom from a friend and be at peace. Peace in the home also implies that peace is something we really want. As in our principles, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Or justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. That word equity or equality. It's a tough one, isn't it? Henry Beck said, what makes equality such a difficult business is that we only want it with our superiors.
Say that again, Jack, please.
Is that we only want equality with our superiors. We don't think about the people that may not have as much or may have a harder time and say, oh boy, wish we had more equity in life with that.
Okay.
You know, it's like that rock and roll song, what was it, that said, tax the rich, feed the poor, till there are no rich no more. In some fashion, we all bear witness to our personal faith. Refrigerator magnets, bumper stickers, driving habits, language. But the greatest expression of peace in the home is peace in our own lives. If your religion, your faith, your philosophy, your spirituality isn't providing peace in your life, my suggestion is to change it. It's never too late for us to give up our prejudices, Thoreau said. No way of thinking or doing, however ancient, can be trusted without proof. I have this great book from Louise Diamond. It's called The Peace Book, 108 Simple Ways to Create a More Peaceful World. You can get a book like this and you can use it as a guide. See conflict as opportunity, she teaches. See conflict as opportunity. Kind of goes back to the sticker on the fridge. Listen with empathy. Ways to generate peace. Develop family rituals and norms. Stop the daily diet of violence for you and your children and your family. The diet of violence. It's pervasive everywhere. Join a peace group. Create a meditation garden. Do good deeds. Change your attitude. All these chapters designed to promote peace in the home. As Diamond says, live on purpose, not by accident. Whatever path you choose, it takes some practice. Thoreau, could a greater miracle take place than for us to look through each other's eyes for an instant?